Alrighty, welcome back. You watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV. I'm John Tobacco, and yes, I'm socially distant from Nico and Jess. And I was out on the streets today. I took the show on the road. I am telling you, hundreds of American patriots turned out in numbers like you don't see in Staten Island. Middle class, hardworking, blue-collar workers, men and women in Staten Island, they usually don't have time to go to a rally. So you don't get a whole hell of a lot of people there. There were hundreds of people there turning out to support one business owner. And there's an effort underway. And I want to thank New York City Councilman Joe Borelli. He kept his word. He's a man of his word. He said if there was a business daring enough to do it, he'd be the first customer. And you want to know something? The dam doesn't break by itself. You need one hole. You need one crack in the dike. And then once it starts coming through, that's when the dam breaks. And Joe Borelli stood aside, Staten Island, New York patriot, Bob Catone. He unlocked his store. They walked in, and Joe bought some sun tanning lotion with some block in it. But commerce happened on Staten Island today. And when they write the history books, and you know what they say, the victors write the history books, we're going to be the victors. And when we write the history books, they're going to remember New York started being unlocked right here on what used to be the King's Highway when we were under British control, which is now Amboy Road. We took it to the King's Highway, and now we're taking it to the mayor and the governor, and I want to thank everyone for showing up. Sorry about the spiel. Market up 250, Bitcoin up 400. Nice day today so far. And even better when I'm joined by Josh Kravitz and Robert Hornak. Robert Hornak, veteran Republican strategist. Josh is a veteran Democratic strategist and also a candidate for New York City Council. And guys, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I just had to give everybody an update on what's happening out there, but it was quite the morning for me.
Thanks, John.
And so, guys, let's get right into it. We got two Oh, this is the second segment. Oh, my, I'm just getting caught up. George Floyd, unfortunate death. We pray for him. God bless him and his family. I have a feeling I'm going to ring the bell on this one. But we all saw the video. It's gruesome. It's like nails on a chalkboard. The guy's got the guy in a sleeper hold with his kneecap, with his carotid artery crushed against the ground for 8 minutes. The guy's saying as clear as possible, I can't breathe. And I'm wearing my NYPD hat because my father's a retired cop. I had a one-on-one conversation with NYPD today. They were fantastic. These guys are bad apples. And Josh, I think this is the time when we got to see some quick justice.
Certainly we do. But, you know, you said you had a one-on-one conversation with a couple officers today, and that really misses the point. The point is that you're not a person of color in America. That interaction is very different when you are a person of color in America, as we've seen over and over and over again. And so a lot of people have been quick to call this a murder. I think that's probably something for the DA to decide the officer's mental state. But what I do know is that in this country, we give police officers a monopoly on the use of force. That's a good thing. We want police officers to be the only party to be able to use force in our country. And we give them that right. But with that right and that monopoly on the use of force, there needs to be a concurrent amount of accountability. And when you murder and when you kill someone and it's not in self-defense. Now, granted, when you're doing self-defense, allegedly, well, we'll see.
Well, I'm with you. And look, I have no sympathy for the cops. I just say allegedly to keep us all on the good side of the law. Sure. I mean, you know, it's a throwaway. You're an attorney. I'm not. But when I said I had a one-on-one. Josh, when I said I had a one-on-one with the cops, I'm saying it's not every day you have to sit there face-to-face with a guy with a gold shield and a bunch of bars on his arm. I talked to them. In New York, no, I'm not a person of color, but in New York, we try to stay away from, you know, those one-on-ones with law enforcement. Robert, I want to go to you here. I know you're a great patriot. I know you're quite conservative. You're like me. You always come down on the side of law enforcement. To me, I don't know. I'm with Josh. These are bad apples, and this is a time where I think the government would do a heck of a good job to show some swift justice.
I couldn't agree more with both of you. I mean, look.
I ring the bell. A Democrat and a Republican agreed. Yay.
Yeah, but look, I'm a big supporter of law enforcement. Josh is right that we give the monopoly power of use of force to the police. But that means it goes along with certain responsibilities, as he pointed out very politely. But look, part of being a supporter of law enforcement means you weed out the guys that aren't capable of doing the job, that aren't up to the job, or are corrupt or overly violent, because this field can attract certain people that aren't cut out for it. These guys are clearly bad apples, and I would definitely support them being prosecuted. I mean, if they're innocent, that'll be decided in a court of law. But this just stinks. I mean, there's nothing, you can't spin this any way that defends the actions of these cops. How do you put your knee on a guy's neck?
All right, Josh Kravitz usually lights it up. Robert Hornak usually lights it up. So I wasn't sure if we were going to get a bell ringer, but I got to ring the bell because you guys were great. And we're out of time here, but thank you very much. Josh Kravitz, Robert Hornak, mixing it up for us right here on Liquid Lunch. All right, you out there at home. We're going to take a quick break right here. Just bring you up to speed on some of the stuff that's happening. National news, okay? Riddle me this. JT's locked in his house, and the center of the universe comes right here to Staten Island. Talk about that more right after this.
Most financially successful people own assets that make them money while they sleep. They usually own real estate, vehicles, intellectual property, equipment, and more. These assets make passive income through leases, subscriptions, royalties, and fees that don't require time, energy, or attention. Your assets do the work, and you collect the check. So what kind of asset should you buy? The most valuable companies in the world, like Amazon, Google, and Apple, all have the same thing in common. They make a majority of their revenue from data technology assets, storing, collecting, processing, and providing data. It's all about the data. What if you could own data tech assets with a low upfront cost? Introducing Apex, a proprietary technology built to process and mine data and render artificial intelligence and 3D gaming at exceptionally high rates. Apex Tech has partnered with SafeTech, a subsidiary of a publicly traded company called InvestView. SafeTech's business model leverages Apex technology to disrupt the multi-trillion-dollar data tech industry, giving you the competitive advantage. SafeTech's growth strategy is to capture a significant share of the market. SafeTech will enter into a 60-month lease with owners of Apex Systems. Why would they do that? Why not just buy all the equipment themselves? The same reason most companies lease instead of own, to scale quickly without the upfront costs and for the tax benefits. So how do you get started? You purchase an Apex system. Then you can lease it to SafeTech for 60 months at a rate of $500 per month. That's a total of $30,000 paid to you over the life of the lease. So what's your responsibility besides purchasing the Apex system? Nothing. During the lease, SafeTech is responsible for any maintenance costs to keep things running for you. Just collect a check every month for the next 60 months. This tremendous financial opportunity positions you to follow the strategies of the financially successful. You can leverage data technology to produce passive income that generates revenue without your time, energy, or effort. This is what is meant by creating multiple streams of income. But the opportunity to participate will not last forever. If this concept fits your financial goals, take action today while you still have the chance.